What will they say about you when you're gone? Not the headlines, not the job titles, not the number in your bank account, but the real story. The one people tell when they speak your name. Because your legacy, it ain't built when you leave, it's built right now. Every word you speak. Every promise you keep. Every time you choose to stand when it's easier to sit, to lift when it's easier to look away. That's your story being written line by line. People won't remember the car you drove, they won't remember the clothes you wore, but they will remember how you made them feel. Did you inspire? Did you encourage? Did you show up when they needed you most? See, success is temporary. It fades like old paint on a wall, but significance, that's forever. That's what remains when everything else is gone. It's not about being famous, it's about being remembered for the right reasons. And legacy, it's not built in one grand moment. It's built in the small ones. The way you talk to the janitor, the same way you talk to the CEO. The way you mentor someone who needs guidance. The way you stand in integrity, even when no one is watching. Because when the time comes and your story is told, it won't be about what you had, it'll be about who you were. So I'll ask you again, what will they say about you? And more importantly, what are you doing today to make sure they say it? Legacy is not about what you leave behind in terms of wealth, possessions, or accolades. It is about the way you live your life, the impact you have on others, and the lessons you impart through your actions. Too often, people chase material success, believing that a large estate, a powerful title, or a long list of achievements will define how they are remembered. But true legacy is not measured in dollars or awards. It is measured in the lives you touch, the love you give, and the influence you have on those around you. The way you live shapes your legacy more than anything you leave behind. Every interaction, every choice, and every word spoken contributes to the narrative that will be told about you. People will not remember how much money you had, but they will remember how you treated them. They will not recall the brands you wore or the size of your home, but they will remember how you made them feel. The essence of legacy is found in the everyday moments, the way you uplift someone in their time of need, the wisdom you share, and the kindness you extend when no one is watching. A person's legacy is formed long before they are gone. It is built in the way they lead their lives, the values they uphold, and the principles they refuse to compromise. A life lived with integrity, compassion, and purpose will naturally leave behind a story worth telling. This is why it is essential to focus not on what will be left behind in a material sense, but on how each day is lived with intention. The question should not be, what will I leave, but rather, how am I living today? The choices made in the present are the building blocks of the legacy that will be left behind. Legacy is found in the relationships we cultivate and the people we pour into. A mentor who shares knowledge and wisdom with the next generation leaves a lasting impact, not through physical possessions, but through the growth and success of those they have guided. A teacher who inspires their students, a coach who instills discipline and confidence, a parent who leads by example. These are the people who create legacies that last beyond their own years. The lessons they teach, the love they give, and the inspiration they provide will continue to shape lives long after they are gone. The power of legacy is that it is not confined to grand gestures. Small, consistent actions hold just as much weight, if not more. A simple word of encouragement at the right moment can change the course of someone's life. A genuine act of kindness can create a ripple effect that extends far beyond what is immediately visible. The way you choose to carry yourself daily, whether with humility, generosity, or resilience, becomes the foundation of how you will be remembered. Living with the mindset that legacy is built in the present creates a deeper sense of purpose. It shifts the focus from temporary gains to lasting impact. It encourages a perspective that values people over possessions, character over comfort, and service over self-interest. Those who understand this truth live differently. They prioritize relationships, seek to uplift others, and remain mindful that every action contributes to the greater story of their lives. The most enduring legacies are not built on what is left behind, but on the way a person has lived. The real inheritance is the love, wisdom, and inspiration passed down through actions, not assets. The question is never about how much a person had, but how much they gave of their time, their heart, and their purpose. A true legacy is not written in bank statements or property deeds, but in the hearts and minds of those who were touched by a life well lived. Every single day, from the moment you wake up to the moment you rest your head, you are writing your story through your actions. The choices you make, the words you speak, and the way you treat others all contribute to the narrative that will define you. Legacy is not built in a single moment or a grand event. It is created in the quiet, consistent decisions that shape who you are and how others will remember you. Your story is not written in ink, but in the lives you touch, the love you give, and the example you set through your daily actions. People often believe that legacy is something that happens later in life, something that is only considered when they have achieved a certain level of success or reached a particular stage. But the truth is, your legacy is being written right now. The way you handle challenges, the way you lift others up, and the way you conduct yourself when no one is watching, these are the chapters of your story. Every moment presents an opportunity to add something meaningful to the narrative, to shape how you will be remembered, and to leave an imprint that extends beyond yourself. Your actions speak louder than any words you could ever say. It is easy to declare who you are, what you believe in, and what kind of person you aspire to be. But in the end, people will remember what you did, not what you said. They will recall how you treated them in their weakest moments, how you responded in times of pressure, and whether you stood firm in your values when it mattered most. Your story is not about the intentions you had, but about the way you lived them out through your behavior. Every interaction with another person is a chance to shape your legacy. A simple act of kindness, a word of encouragement, or a moment of patience can have a lasting effect. You never know how deeply your words or actions might impact someone else. A single conversation, a small gesture, or an act of generosity could change the trajectory of another person's life. The things that may seem insignificant in the moment can become the most powerful parts of the story you leave behind. Your actions also shape how you see yourself. The way you carry yourself, the habits you develop, and the discipline you maintain determine the kind of person you become. Every decision you make builds momentum in a certain direction, either strengthening your character or compromising it. If you consistently choose honesty, integrity, and perseverance, those qualities will define your story. If you allow negativity, dishonesty, or selfishness to guide your actions, that too becomes part of your legacy. You are constantly reinforcing who you are through what you do, whether you realize it or not. There is no such thing as an insignificant day when it comes to legacy. Every single day adds another page to the book of your life. Some days will be filled with challenges, mistakes, and setbacks, but those moments are also opportunities to show resilience, growth, and strength. How you respond in difficult times becomes one of the most defining aspects of your story. People do not remember only the victories, they remember how you handled adversity, how you learned from failure, and how you carried yourself in moments of struggle. No one can control how others will interpret their story, but they can control the way they live it. Legacy is not something you passively receive, it is something you actively create. Each day is another chance to write the kind of story that inspires, uplifts, and leaves a mark that extends beyond your own lifetime. People may forget your words, they may forget your accomplishments, and they may even forget your name, but they will never forget how you made them feel. The way you treat others leaves a lasting imprint, far deeper than any material success or title ever could. Long after you're gone, people will carry the emotions you stirred within them, the warmth of your kindness, the encouragement in your voice, the comfort in your presence, or the pain of your indifference. That is the essence of legacy. It is not built on what you say or what you have, but on the emotional imprint you leave behind. Every interaction is an opportunity to lift someone up or bring them down. A single moment of compassion can heal wounds, just as a careless word can create them. People remember the feeling of being valued, of being heard, of being understood. They remember who made them feel seen in their struggles and who made them feel small in their pain. The power of emotions is greater than logic because feelings shape memories. Someone may not recall exactly what you said to them years ago, but they will always remember how you made them feel in that moment. It does not take grand gestures to leave a lasting impact. Sometimes it is the smallest acts of kindness that remain in a person's heart forever. A genuine smile, a listening ear, a simple act of generosity, these are the things that shape how people remember you. A person struggling with doubt will never forget the one who believed in them. A person feeling invisible will always remember the one who acknowledged them. A person in pain will hold on to the memory of the one who showed them kindness when they needed it most. These moments, though fleeting, stay with people long after they have passed. Negative emotions have the same power. The sting of a cruel remark, the ache of being ignored, the hurt of betrayal, these feelings do not fade easily. Long after the words have been spoken, long after the moment has passed, the emotion lingers. It shapes how a person views not only you but themselves. You may not remember an offhand comment or a dismissive attitude, but the person on the receiving end will. That is why it is so important to be intentional with how you treat people, because the weight of your actions extends beyond the moment itself. Influence is not about authority or status, it is about emotional connection. The people who leave the greatest impact in this world are not necessarily the ones with the most power, but the ones who make others feel empowered. A teacher who makes a student believe in their own potential, a friend who brings laughter in a time of sorrow, a leader who instills confidence instead of fear. These are the people who are remembered not for what they did, but for how they made others feel in their presence. No one is perfect and no one gets it right all the time, but understanding that emotions leave a lasting mark should create a sense of responsibility. The way you speak to people, the way you react to them, the way you show up in their lives, it all contributes to the story they will tell about you. You do not have to be the richest, the smartest, or the most successful person in the room, but you do have the ability to be the one who made others feel important, valued, and seen. And in the end, that is what people will carry with them. Not the words, not the accomplishments, just the feeling you left behind. Success fades. The trophies gather dust, the titles become meaningless, and the applause eventually dies down. No matter how high you climb, how much wealth you accumulate, or how many accolades you earn, success is never permanent. It is a moment, a milestone, a fleeting achievement that in time will be replaced by someone else's victory. But significance, that is different. Significance is not about what you accomplish for yourself, but about the impact you have on others. It is about the lives you touch, the lessons you pass on, and the difference you make in the world long after you are gone. Many people spend their lives chasing success, believing that once they reach a certain level of achievement, they will be fulfilled. They work tirelessly for recognition, for financial gain, for validation from the world. And while there is nothing wrong with ambition or striving for excellence, the truth is that success alone does not create meaning. It is temporary, it can be taken away, forgotten, or overshadowed. Significance, on the other hand, is not about what you get, but about what you give. It is the lasting impression you leave on the people around you, the contributions that continue to shape lives even after your own chapter has ended. The difference between success and significance is purpose. Success is often self-focused. How much can I achieve? How far can I go? How high can I climb? But significance is outward. It asks, how can I serve? How can I help? How can I leave something behind that truly matters? A person can have all the success in the world and still feel empty because success alone does not fulfill the human need for meaning. But those who choose to live for significance, those who dedicate their lives to uplifting others, to creating change, to leaving the world better than they found it, those are the ones whose names live on, not because they sought recognition, but because their actions made a difference. History remembers those who lived with significance, not just success. There have been countless wealthy, powerful, and successful individuals whose names have faded into obscurity. But the ones who are remembered, the ones whose legacies endure, are those who gave something of themselves to the world. Think of the teachers who shape generations of students, the mentors who guide others toward their potential, the leaders who use their influence for good. They may not always be the richest or the most famous, but they are the ones who leave something behind that cannot be measured in numbers, something that lasts. True significance is found in the way you impact others, in the lessons you teach, in the kindness you show, and in the wisdom you share. It is found in the relationships you build, in the people you lift up, and in the lives you change. Success may open doors, but significance ensures that those doors stay open for others long after you have walked through them. A life of significance is not about accumulating more, but about contributing more. It is about recognizing that the value of a life is not in how much you take, but in how much you give. At the end of the day, success will come and go. No matter how great the achievement, it is only a moment in time. But significance is forever. The impact you make, the love you share, the lessons you instill, those are the things that will live on. People may not remember the awards you won or the wealth you gained, but they will remember how you made them feel, what you taught them, and how you changed their lives for the better. That is the true measure of a life well lived. Legacy is not created in one grand moment or a single extraordinary achievement. It is built in the small, seemingly insignificant moments that make up everyday life. People often think of legacy as something tied to wealth, power, or fame, but the truth is, it is the quiet actions, the daily choices, and the way you treat others that define how you will be remembered. The small moments when no one is watching, when there is no reward, when it is just you choosing to do the right thing, those are what shape your story and leave a lasting impact. It is easy to believe that legacy is reserved for the extraordinary, for those who lead nations, write bestsellers, or break records. But the reality is that legacy is written in the ordinary. It is built in the way you greet someone with kindness, in the way you listen when someone needs to be heard, in the encouragement you give without expecting anything in return. These are the moments that stay with people. These are the moments that define a life well lived. The small gestures of compassion and integrity leave a deeper mark than any award or title ever could. They think about the people who have made a difference in your own life. It is not always the ones with the most accomplishments or the greatest success. More often it is the ones who were there when you needed them most. It is the teacher who believed in you, the friend who supported you, the mentor who gave you guidance when you felt lost. It was not a single grand gesture that defined their impact, but a series of small moments where they showed up, where they cared, where they made you feel valued. Every interaction is an opportunity to build a legacy. A word of encouragement at the right time can change the course of someone's life. A simple act of generosity can inspire someone to do the same for others. The way you treat people in the small moments when there is no applause, no recognition, no reward becomes the foundation of the legacy you leave behind. The truth is, people will not remember most of the things you said, but they will always remember how you made them feel. Integrity, kindness, and compassion do not require wealth, status, or power. They require only intention. Choosing to be patient when it is easier to be frustrated, choosing to uplift rather than tear down, choosing to help even when it is inconvenient, these are the moments that define who you are. Legacy is not about how many people know your name, it is about how many people's lives you touched in a meaningful way. It is about whether you left people better than you found them. Small moments accumulate over time, shaping the story that will be told about you. A life filled with love, generosity, and kindness creates a ripple effect that extends far beyond what you can see. The people you impact will carry those moments forward, passing them on to others, creating a chain reaction that outlives you. The way you choose to live each day, the way you show up for others, the way you make people feel, that is what will remain long after you are gone. You do not need to wait for a big stage or a life-changing event to create a legacy. It is happening right now in the everyday decisions you make. The small moments, the unnoticed acts of goodness, the quiet ways you lift others up, those are the building blocks of a legacy that will stand the test of time. Living with purpose means approaching each day with intention, knowing that every action, every word, and every choice contributes to something greater than yourself. It is about waking up with a sense of direction, driven by values that shape the way you live. A life without purpose is merely existence, moving through the motions without truly making an impact. But a life led with purpose is one that creates meaning not just for yourself, but for those around you. It is not about chasing success for the sake of personal gain, but about using your time, energy, and talents to serve a cause that extends beyond you. Purpose is not something found, it is something created. It does not come from waiting for the perfect opportunity or searching endlessly for some grand revelation. It comes from the daily decision to act with intention, to be present, and to contribute in ways that matter. Purpose is built in the way you treat others, the passion you bring to your work, and the way you show up even when no one is watching. It is not about perfection, but about consistency, choosing every single day to live in alignment with your values. The way you live determines the meaning you leave behind. People often think legacy is something to be considered later in life, but the truth is, legacy is built in the present. The way you show kindness to a stranger, the way you encourage someone in a moment of doubt, the way you lend a hand without expecting anything in return, these are the moments that shape the story of your life. It is not about wealth, status, or recognition. It is about impact. When you live with purpose, you create a legacy that is not measured by what you own, but by the lives you touch. Living with purpose means understanding that time is finite. No one is promised tomorrow, and that is why it is important to make today count. Too many people wait for the right time to pursue their passions, to mend broken relationships, or to start making a difference. But the right time is now. The people who leave the greatest impact are not necessarily the ones who had the most years, but the ones who made the most of the years they had. They lived fully, gave generously, and left behind something meaningful, not because they waited for the perfect opportunity, but because they took action where they were with what they had. Purpose is what drives you, but meaning is what you leave behind. The goal is not just to live a successful life, but to live a significant one. It is easy to get caught up in achievements in the pursuit of more money, more recognition, more power. But at the end of the day, those things fade. What remains is the way you made others feel, the wisdom you shared, the example you set. The true measure of a life well lived is not in what you accumulated, but in what you gave. When you live with purpose, you inspire others to do the same. Your actions become a reflection of your values, and those around you take notice. A life led with integrity, passion, and kindness encourages others to strive for the same. The way you show up in the world has a ripple effect, extending beyond your own lifetime. The greatest legacies are not written in history books, they are written in the hearts and minds of those who were touched by a life well lived. At the end of the journey, the question is not how much you had, but how much you gave. Not how long you lived, but how deeply you impacted others. A life of purpose ensures that when you leave with meaning, knowing that your time here was spent in a way that truly mattered. Life is not measured by the years you lived or the success you achieved, but by the purpose you embraced and the meaning you left behind. Every action, every choice, and every moment contribute to the legacy you create. When you live with intention, when you serve others, when you pour your energy into something greater than yourself, you ensure that your impact extends far beyond your time on this earth. The true mark of a meaningful life is not in what you take, but in what you give. Not in how high you climb, but in how many lives you lift. The world will not remember the titles, the wealth, or the accolades, but it will remember the love, the wisdom, and the kindness you shared. Live with purpose today so that when the time comes to leave, you do so knowing that your life mattered in the deepest and most lasting way.